Am I the asshole for refusing to travel with my brother's family because his kids only eat junk food? I am 39, am currently undergoing cancer treatment. In the end of it all, I am planning to take a holiday with a friend or family member to travel to the other side of the world. I am based in the UK and I am thinking Vietnam, South Korea, Japan or somewhere around there where I have never been. I asked my brother, M43, if he would consider coming with me. He got very excited and said his daughter, F12, and son, M8, would also come along. They are both incredibly picky eaters, and my niece only eats plain beige foods. She won't even have a burger at McDonald's, just chips and nuggets, and that's pretty much 80% of the kids' diet. I know my brother and his wife have tried hard to introduce them to other foods, but they just won't eat it. I love the two kids to bits, I really do. However, I want to travel to experience the food culture and that is a major part of it for me. I want to get off the beaten path and experience things in life I haven't been brave enough to experience before. For me, selfishly, this trip is about the end of my cancer and celebrating that there is life after cancer. It's also not something I can easily afford. This is where I might be the asshole. I asked my brother to come travel with me, and when he said his kids would come too, I told him I would rather travel with someone else. He is disappointed and angry with me, and frustrated that I don't want to travel with his family. He feels I am being selfish as traveling with his children can also be fulfilling. I would also like to spend time with them and do some child-friendly things during the holiday. He had already gotten my niece and nephew excited about the travel too. To make things worse, we live in different countries so we don't see each other a lot. They will be very disappointed when they learn I have pulled the plug on the plans. I feel conflicted. So, am I the asshole? ETA. I am currently having cancer treatment. I only just started. I have grade 3, stage 3 thyroid cancer that is spread to cervical spine. I have chemo now, started first round, and then surgery, then more chemo and then radio. The travel won't be until late 2026 at the earliest, God willing. ETA. The travel will be 2 weeks. ETA. It's not a holiday to a tourist destination. I look to go off the beaten path. Not the asshole. Even if these kids were willing to try everything, kids that age still need to have almost everything edited to suit their needs. This would be a holiday for them, with you tagging along. Find someone else to go with, or really brave it and go by yourself. Not the asshole. Food is a huge reason to experience other cultures, and you're going to spend a lot of mealtimes at McDonald's instead of anywhere worth visiting a foreign country for. Also, a holiday with kids in tow is very different to one of just adults. He was the one who told them about it, after he unfairly expected them to be able to come without it changing anything. You're in the clear. Hope you manage to find someone else to go with. Dreaming of making such a trip myself. Not the asshole. Traveling with kids would make your trip everything, but what do you want it to be? Your brother should be more understanding. Trying new food is an adult experience. Not only adults react differently when they don't like something, but also certain foods are not good for kids. What could cause an adult to have diarrhea for a kid could be much worse. And kids could even be allergic to certain stuff without knowing. Not the asshole. You invited your brother, and he assumed his kids were invited, and got them excited. That's on him. Also, cancer is kind of a big deal. Wanting to have a one-of-a-kind experience tailored specifically for you after going through that hell might be selfish, but it's also one of the few times in life where being 100% selfish is the only right choice. If you are open to it, you could travel with your brother and the friend, explain what you will be doing on the trip, and tell them that they are welcome to come along, but that this trip is for you and that if they want to eat French fries at McDonald's, they can do that, but you won't be joining them. If you don't want that kind of trip, that's also completely fine, cancer or not, to be honest. Not the asshole. If rare is any time when it's okay to be selfish, it's after you just beat fucking cancer. This is your trip. You're going for a particular reason with particular aims in mind. Your brother is being incredibly dense here. I don't know what to tell you about your relationship, however, I can state unequivocally that you are not on the wrong. Go celebrate your God news. Not the asshole. Traveling W kids is a completely different experience than two adults traveling together. Your brother should understand you want an adult trip. If he can't go because of kids, fine, but not okay to invite them along. Am I the asshole for not paying for my friend's hospital bills? I 24M live with my friend 26M in a 2-bedroom apartment. We were friends before living with each other, so we set some ground rules, and one of them was that we don't share groceries. We have separate mini fridges in our rooms, so you couldn't even eat or drink something that isn't yours on accident. One day I was out with friends and I was craving the cake in my fridge for when I come home. When I came home I saw that the fridge was empty and I saw the plate in the trash. Turns out he was allergic to peanut butter which was in the cake, and he saw himself in the mirror face puffy and red as a tomato, so he called an ambulance. Nothing serious happened to him, After he saw the cost of ambulance and EPI pen etc., he asked me to pay for it all because apparently, I poisoned him. And I told him that he stole my cake without even telling and told him to F off and went home. He told all of our friends and they're telling me to at least help him pay. So, I ate it? Not the asshole. This is no different than if he'd had an adverse reaction to your medication. It wasn't meant for him, you didn't give it to him or agree to him having any. This is 100% his fault and his problem. Not only do you not owe him a dime, you need to make it very clear that his medical bills are not an excuse to fall behind on rent or utilities, because there is a 100% chance he's going to say that he needs you to cover those if he has to pay his own medical bill. Plant your feet and don't back down. Not the asshole. He ate something that was in your fridge, in your room, that he didn't know the origins of. Even if it was in a shared fridge, he would still be the asshole because it wasn't his to eat and he didn't even bother to ask. Maybe time for a lock on the door or fridge? Could you send me the measurements of the ball size needed to try to hold someone else accountable for stealing food he's allergic to? Gotta be massive. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Absolutely not. He went into your fridge, took something that was not his, and ate it. This is a well-deserved, expensive lesson for him. Not the asshole. Tell him to fuck off. You have boundaries and separate fridges for a reason, yet he violated that, so it's his own fault really. Explain to your friends to why you aren't gonna help. Not the asshole. I have a deadly food allergy. Because of that, I never eat food that isn't mine or that I haven't checked the ingredients. If he hadn't stolen your food, he wouldn't have the bills. That is all on him. Am I the asshole? Vaping during pregnancy. My fiancée is a little over 7 weeks pregnant, and she has been hiding the fact that she has still been vaping. The first sign was an empty vape box inside of her car, but I thought nothing of it at first because she was a heavy smoker prior to her pregnancy. However, the second sign was finding a vape in our bed. It wasn't there when I made the bed earlier that day, and then right there next to her, I find the vape while she was sleeping. I asked her if she was still smoking it and she laughed and said no. I don't try to pry, so I left it there, thinking she wouldn't be intentionally, potentially, harming our unborn child. Fast forward to today, I walk past our son's room. We have a 5-year-old, but unbeknownst to her I seen her hit the vape and I immediately ask her what did I just see her do. Now I'll spare the conversation after that and what transpired, but am I the asshole? I'm being ignored and treated as so, for pointing out and questioning the obvious. Not the asshole. You're not out of line for being concerned. This isn't about preferences or opinions, it's about health and safety. You're literally watching someone you love do something that could harm your unborn child. That's not controlling, that's responsible parenting. But we need to know what the conversation was. It is okay to flip out, but how did the conversation go? Interesting that you don't want to say what actually happened. You're not an asshole for being concerned. You could be an asshole depending on what you said and what you did. Ta for being upset, but also need to understand nicotine isn't something easily put down. Maybe try supporting here, stopping and offer resources than trying to catch her slipping. Nicotine is nicotine. The CDC has determined that vaping is not safe during pregnancy. Source: you are not the asshole. Your fiancé though. Unpopular opinion, but if she was a heavy smoker before pregnancy, the stress of quitting completely could be a rose than just smoking through the pregnancy. If you want to say it's not true, I know a heavy smoker who was told that by a doctor. Not the asshole for bringing it up, though. I'm guessing you told her you weren't happy she was lying about it and maybe yelled at her for it, and mentioned it wasn't safe. Info: do you vape, smoke, drink? Leaning towards no assholes here. Quitting is extremely hard, which is why companies target teens. Fewer people with a fully mature brain take the risk of getting addicted. Personally, I think your best bet is to approach this humbly and as a team effort. Ask if you can both quit an addictive habit together, and then share in the commiseration, encouragement when either of you slip up, and celebrate stretches of success. Am I the asshole for not firing my nanny so my ex and I can share? My ex and I have 2 kids, 5 and 7. He has the kids every other Monday, Friday. Their school doesn't have a good after-school program. We let the kids go there if we're desperate, but I have a nanny and he has his mom pick up the kids most of the time. My ex has been extremely difficult with child support. We've been separated for 11 months and he hasn't given me a penny. After my ex and I separated, one of my kids' teachers recognized Jenna, saying she primarily worked with single parents and low-income families. Jenna told me her rate is $35 an hour if I want her to only work for my family. I told her I can't afford that, so she offered a second option. She works for me, but she also does backup care or finds another family to work for. When she only has my kids, I pay her $25 an hour. When she has other kids, almost every day, I pay her $15. I also do some other work for her like basic accounting. writing up contracts for the other parents to sign, and writing waivers for her driving the kids in exchange for the lower rate when it's just us. We're the only people she works with consistently, but she has a list of people that use her when their after-school care falls through for any reason other than contagious illness. She typically has extra kids at least 3 days a week, but usually closer to 4 or sometimes 5. She has a routine. She picks up all of the kids. Everyone gets a snack. She provides snack unless the kid has an allergy or special diet. They head to the library where everyone that has homework does homework and everyone else reads or plays quietly. After homework they go to museums, the community pool, splash pad, arcade, the park, events at the library, second snack. Then parents start picking up or she starts dropping off the kids. My ex's mom is getting to a point where she can't watch the kids every day, but my ex doesn't want a nanny that's watching up to 5 kids at a time. Jenna isn't willing to take multiple families on my weeks and only my kids on my ex's weeks because she'd lose clients if she wasn't available half the time. My ex and I agree that it would be better for the kids if we had consistent childcare, but he isn't willing to try Jenna and I can't afford to pay more than what I'm currently paying. I've tried telling my ex that I will get another nanny if he pays for it, but if not I will stick with Jenna. Now he's saying I'm not willing to work with him for the sake of the kids and I won't consider quality childcare because I'm not willing to pay more than $15 an hour. Now I'm wondering if I am wrong for not getting a new nanny. Not the asshole assuming your custody. Child support agreement requires that he arrange for his own childcare of days where he is responsible for the kids. Your childcare situation is great. There's nothing wrong with it. It sounds like you are getting an excellent service for a very reasonable price. Not the asshole. Your ex hasn't paid a penny in child support for almost a year but has the audacity to demand you fire a perfectly good nanny who's giving you a discounted rate? That's rich. Jenna sounds amazing. She's experienced, has a great routine for the kids, and is affordable. Your ex wants to dictate childcare arrangements without contributing financially, which is completely unreasonable. If he wants different childcare, he can either pay for it himself or start paying the child support he owes so you can afford something else. You're not being difficult, you're being practical with the resources you have. The fact that you've even offered to get another nanny if he pays for it shows you're the one willing to compromise here, not him. Stand your ground on this one. Not the asshole. And girl, contact court and get that child support. The nerve of him to ask you to pay hundreds more in child care for his convenience when he isn't even paying the child support. Face with rolling eyes. Not the asshole. So your ex won't even pay for his own kids but you think he should tell you how to pay for a nanny? Huh? Why haven't you taken him back to court to make him pay the child support? Also, what that nanny charges is not low income. This story is odd. You have a great situation. Don't let your deadbeat ex ruin it.